Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to Virtual Racing Network. You are here for the RACECORE Online Racing League. This is the Truck Series Championship night. We already have a winner crowned. We're just here to see who gets the bragging rights of winning the last race of the season. But before we get into all of the racing details, and we don't really have any point standings to go over here, we want to thank all those partners that have come on board here for this series. As of course, as always, starting with the racing side of things, big shout out to Global Building Contractors, iRacing Drivers World, and for coming on board as the primary sponsor here, that is Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills. Make sure you go check them out. And of course, we want to thank all of the sponsors here for the broadcast as well that have been on board all of 2018 with us here so far, as well as getting close to the end. Those include Walls Beard Co., Beard Balm, Sim Speed Shop, Northwest Racing Series, Ohio IndyCar League, iPog, and, of course, Randy's Wraps here for your post-race show. That being said here, we got about 4 minutes on the clock here before we get into qualifying. We have, I'd say, a fairly good amount of laps here tonight. We'll see how it all plays out caution-wise and stuff. We're going to go ahead and pull up our pre-race analysts. As you can see, 8 miles per hour to the south for the wind, 80-degree air temp, 88 on the track. That will go up a little bit, I'm sure, the longer we run here. 90 laps, 135 miles, pit road 55 miles per hour. So we'll see how this goes, as we do have some drivers coming out on to the track here to get things started. We have about 3.5 minutes left to go. We're not going to go over the whole point standings here tonight, as there really is no benefit to doing so, is the fact that right now we do have a champion. So we're going to get to the national anthem a little bit later here. We want to go ahead and pull Jameer up here if we can really quick. We'll see. Jameer, you got a copy? Hopefully we'll be able to get a quick word in with Jameer here before this race starts.
Yeah, Charles, I got you.
And this way, we may be talking to you again tonight. There's a really good chance of it anyway. But we wanted to get this out of the way first. It is pretty much set in stone and drying in concrete right now that you are going to be the champion. So we wanted to get you here kind of in your own moment with nobody else around and just see how does it feel to be the champion as you won the Xfinity Series already.
Oh, it feels wonderful. This was at the start of the season. Obviously, there was a lot of really good drivers. It's kind of dwindled down tonight, but it was stiff competition throughout. Right now, Mikey has 6 wins on the year, and I've got 5. So I've got a little bit of motivation to try and at least tie him on wins this season.
Yeah, so we'll be watching that. Hopefully, maybe you can tie it up there. That would be awesome to see. But like you said, just an outstanding season for both of you. You pretty much have all but officially saying it anyway, clinched the championship here. So you win both. So winning both championships, not just one of them, but both for this season, coming into the next season, does it give you a momentum, and how much of a target and pressure does that put on you to try and duplicate that the following year?
I don't feel like it gives me much momentum. I feel like there's a little bit more pressure going into the next series, and I definitely think there's a target on my back going in. I think everyone's going to be trying and racing hard for every point and trying to get an edge on me as much as they can.
Yeah, definitely. I think they will be trying to get you. Everybody wants to be Jameer when it comes to winning the championship and winning winning races and stuff like that. So definitely, you got about a minute to go here before qualifying. We know you got some sponsors and shout-outs obviously out there. Unfortunately, Jeff is not here yet. He is coming, so maybe we'll get you the Jeff and Jameer show later tonight. But any sponsors and shout-outs you want to give real quick before you get going to qualifying?
Yeah, I just want to shout out to Global Building Contractors, iRacing Drivers World, and our series sponsor, Leo's Coney Island, for all the work that they do for us.
All right, well, there you have it, folks. We'll probably be talking to him a little bit later tonight again, but that is your season champion here, Jamir Muhammad, winning back-to-back. He won the Xfinity and he won the truck. We'll all but make it official here tonight. He's out here just on cruise control probably. But Jamir, hopefully we'll talk to you and we'll see you later tonight. All right, and that will just about do it. We got 4 seconds left on the clock before we go to qualifying. Again, short pre-race show here as we didn't have a lot to cover. Point standings pretty much null and void at this point. Mikey Neal has second. Jamir has first. Alex Huffman sitting in third place right now. Those are your top 3 in points. Those are the ones getting the prizes here for winning the first, second, and third. But we'll see. Looks like everyone is coming out onto the track here, so we're going to jump down to the track with them as we are watching the 83, and we'll get the green flag here with 5 minutes on the clock. And, well, we say we will. There we go. Green flag is out. We'll pull up your driver bar as it is going to be Alex Huffman right now sitting in that 83 machine. We'll see just where he stacks up, and it looks like Jeff Stabnow's here just a little late. He just missed Jamir.
Well, I'm sure I'll get a chance to talk to him after the show for our post-race show, huh?
Oh, yeah, as we're just congratulating him on his championship. Kind of wanted to give him his own moment, assuming he doesn't win this race anyway. You kind of just wanted to give him his championship time, not kind of muddled in there with all the other, the second and third place as well, or first and second, or whatever place he finishes in. Just kind of his moment there. I felt it a little better to give him his own time.
Well, I'll tell you what, he earned it. It's been amazing watching these guys across the Xfinity season and this season. I haven't seen a group of racers improve so much in one season. And it's not like they were bad racers. They were good, but kind of the way these guys pushed each other and the amount that they improved across the season. Jamir right there comes out on top. So absolutely hats off to Jamir. These guys made him work for it, and he just got better and better and better every week. He's not the only one, but he ended up on top. So he definitely earned a moment.
Yeah, he definitely earned it. And we were talking to him, and he enlightened us on some stats here. I did not know coming into this race here as we're watching Bill Edwards, who just took the fastest time. Mikey Neal has 6 wins here in this series. He has 5. So his goal tonight is to try to get that 6th win and tie Mikey Neal for races won here in this series.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of guys that would love to stand in their way. Mikey Neal and Jamir Muhammad have been battling it out here all season long. And we talk about 2 guys that have improved. Maybe Jamir was the first guy to kind of start arcing up, but on that path, Mikey Neal's just been a rocket ship here lately too, and these guys have flat out dominated these mile and a halves here lately. Now there's a couple of guys who've been coming on real strong. James Larillo, Alex Huffman. There's others that we've seen flash at times. Jeremy Evans. So there's plenty of guys, and I'm loading in, so I'm not even sure I was in here yet, that would probably love to walk away with a win. And I'm sure none more than Mikey Neal wanting to defend that title for wins here this season.
Yeah, definitely would love to. Right now, the kind of upset, I wouldn't say too big of an upset because Bill Edwards has been fairly quick since he came onto the scene here a few weeks ago, but he is actually our pole sitter right now with a 32.345. Jamir Muhammad now to 5th place as Mikey Neal has not put in a time. Tony Rice back in 9th place right now. Bill Edwards is at the top, followed by James Zarello and Brian Jones sitting in third P3 right now here in qualifying.
I got to ask, have I done a race with Bill Edwards yet? I don't know if he's done the trucks since I've been here.
You have, but he before was William Edwards.
Oh, okay. We got an okay. Never mind.
Name change. He legally was name changed to Bill Edwards, which is what we know him in here, but over there he's William, but that has been changed. But qualifying's got 39 seconds here. Mikey Neal's going to take it to fourth. Tony Rice out on the track here. We're going to switch over to him. I'm not sure why our camera didn't, but he is 10th place right now with a 33. 490, and that will do it for his qualifying time. Only 10 drivers here tonight. John Van Varillis came in and left, so I'm not sure if something might have come up there, but yeah, definitely a short or a low car count here tonight. But it, the ones that are here, you got to give them props. This is kind of a indicative of a championship round when there's just not a lot on the line. People tend to not show up as much.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. And it's unfortunate because I know I'm not wired that way, but I know plenty of guys. They set out to win a championship, and as soon as that's no longer within reach for them, they're done. But you got 10 guys out here tonight, 9 of which aren't in the running for the championship anymore, but. They're super competitors, and these guys are out here. These are the guys that are going to compete hard. They just want to get out of here with a win. They don't care. Yes, they wanted the championship, but a race win is all that matters to them tonight, and they're here to get one.
Yeah, and we're feeling generous here tonight, Jeff. So if you want to run through our first 10 drivers, then I will round out the field here tonight.
Absolutely. In P1 on pole tonight is the number 75 truck of Bill Edwards. Coming off the grid in second place is the 13 of James Arello. In P3, we've got the 45 of Brian Jones, and outside row 2, we've got the number 8 truck of Mikey Justified Neal. In row 3, starting off in P5, we got the 83 of Alex Huffman, and to his outside in row 3, we've got the 14 of Jameer Mohammed. In row 4, starting on the inside, the 21 of Dan Butler, and outside him in the 8th position, the 91 of Jim Locking. In row 5, we've got the 99 of Justin Starr on the inside, and rounding out your field tonight, the 64 of Tony Rice in position 10.
That will do it for the Walls Beard Co. starting grid. Again, John Van Varillis coming in, but then ended up leaving, so not sure what went on there. What to expect here for tonight's race, unless something crazy happens. I don't think it's a full moon. I'm not even sure it's dark out yet, to be honest. I think we're going to see a fairly low caution, maybe one caution, possibly two, but I think we're going to go caution-free here tonight. I know we try not to predict them, but 10 cars for 90 laps, I think that's a very good educated guess here as the green flag does come out.
Well, obviously, with the lower car count, we've got a better chance of getting these guys spread out, and we definitely got some real good drivers here tonight, but don't let Homestead fool you. It looks like one of those mile-and-a-half tracks, and we drive those all the time, and they're easy. But Homestead's got some progressive banking, and, she can be a tricky one here. So wouldn't be surprised at all to see somebody clip that wall coming off 4, because it seems like there's a grip strip right up there against that wall. You're fastest when you're just inches away from it. And coming off a corner 2, it can get a little bit hairy, too, as you got to ride out to that wall. So a lot of ways this track can get you. I'm not willing to bet that we go caution-free, but if anybody can do it, it's this crew.
Oh, and I can't remember, if I recall correctly, is this the track? No, it is not, now that I think about it. It's Indy that I was thinking that has that little rumble strip down there that'll catch you, but that is not this track. It is actually Indianapolis that has that. That is probably my least favorite spot on any track, as it can really catch you here, but this one, it's one of those iconic tracks. For anyone that doesn't follow NASCAR a whole lot, we're apparently losing connection all of a sudden for a minute. It has those iconic, teal blue walls. NASCAR always finishes here, so it's a very iconic track.
Well, it's a true oval, right? Most of your mile-and-a-half tracks. Ooh, nice. I think we had a nice slide job there. Jameer Mohammed there in the 14 truck, right up there in front of Brian Jones, who actually scrapes the wall there a little bit and lets Alex Huffman by on the inside. But back to your point, We don't have perfectly round outside walls, so coming off 4, it kind of juts just a little bit. And when you're trying to ride out the wall, man, that'll catch you off guard. It is an oval. It's not a D-shaped. It's not a tri-oval. It's not a quad oval. It's just we got 2 long straightaways that are pretty much symmetrical and 2 sets of corners. We've got progressive banking, which means the inside lanes aren't as banked as much as the outside lanes. So if we can get enough rubber and heat in here, that means we can get multiple grooves racing. But it also means early on the run, the inside line is going to be the fastest way around. But when those tires start wearing, you're not going to have a grip to hold that. And you try to run down that inside too long, and a good chance that rear end is going to come around on you. And then, like we said, the fastest way, it seems like getting onto the straightaways and off these corners is to push out within inches of that wall. So this is a fun track.
That is a very fun track. Definitely a great way to end the season. And right now, just to point out, our 2 guys that have won the most races here in this season, Jamir Muhammad and Mikey Neal, as you can see them there on your screen, 3rd and 4th. So, you know, we, again, always talk about James Zarello. He's fast. He's leading this race right now. He's led 2 laps. Edwards has led 2 laps. And Jamir has led 1 lap. So we're currently 6 laps in. And it looks like right now just about everybody's kind of split this here. Zarello leads his 3rd lap. So right now, in order, it's Larello, Edwards, and Muhammad, 3, 2, 1 in laps led. So we're counting down there. So the laps have really kind of got spread out as far as the leaders, but I think they've pretty much sorted it out here. And James Zarello is going to probably lead for a while. So we'll see. But Jamir's not done. He's actually trying to make a pass here on the 75 of Bill Edwards. So we'll see if he can get by him. It's going to be tricky to pass him.
Well, I'll tell you what, if James Larello or Alex Huffman are going to win a race, on one of these mile and a halves, here at the end of the season, this is a really good track for both of them. They're both really fast drivers. Mikey Neal, admittedly, in the Xfinity cars when we finished up here, he said he struggles at this track, and we watched him have some struggles. I think turns 3 and 4, which they're going through now, were just a little bit of a nemesis there for Mikey Neal. Jamir Muhammad had a long run. And if I remember right, he came out victorious there. But I think Alex Huffman and James Zarello maybe will take advantage of Mikey's struggles here a little bit. And, that only really I think they've got enough speed. Maybe if we don't go green to the end and we get a little bit of shorter runs, I think both these guys got a chance maybe to get a win here tonight.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. Again, the plus side here to having fewer car count or fewer cars here tonight, minus the lower cautions possibly, which we don't always have don't have a lot. We have had races where there was more. We've had caution-free races too, but the plus side of this is everybody here gets a top 10 tonight.
Yeah, and look at this. We already got multiple grooves. I see somebody up there. I'm not sure who that was. I think it was Brian Jones. He's rim riding already. He's clear up there at the wall there as they came through 1 and 2, looking to get a big run down that straightaway while we got guys still trying to hang on to that middle line and a couple guys running, still getting tires down there on that low line too. So these guys already trying to find multiple grooves, and this is what makes for some good racing. Somebody finds a fast groove and able to come through that field, and then everybody else has to start searching. So kind of interesting to see these guys already up there at the wall this early.
Yeah, it definitely is. People around racing, that is kind of referred to as the Larson line. If you know NASCAR, you know who Kyle Larson is. He absolutely loves that line. He will get it as close to the wall. He could probably reach out and touch the wall if he could get any closer to it. So we may refer to that here as the Larson line throughout the night, but it's a very dangerous line, in my opinion, to be that close to the wall. You have basically zero room for error. However, some of these guys can get up there, and they're really good at running it.
Well, when these guys have been running with zero room for error in packs all year long. You've got more banking up there against the wall. As we said, this is a progressively banked track, so you can carry more speed up there against the wall. Usually the shorter way around the track is the faster way. But because you can carry more speed up on that high line, if the difference is great enough, so once the lower line slows down enough, you can kill guys by getting hitting that straightaway at such a faster speed. You can fly by guys on that straightaway because you might be carrying 4 or 5 miles an hour more just when you get to the straightaway. So that high line will work, and it will work great. But in order for it to work, the low line's got to be slowed down here a little bit. I think they got to get, either a lot of rubber on the track or some heat in it, which is going to be hard to do with 10 cars. Or they got to get some greasy old tires.
Yeah, and I'm just really shocked. Well, I'm not shocked. I'm really excited, really is the word I want to use, for the 75 of Bill Edwards. He may possibly lose that spot of second right now, but he has really held off the 14 of Jamir Muhammad, and he's still doing it. He is making Jamir work for every spot he wants, and he is not giving up second. And what that has done, as what you would expect it to, is you look behind him, Mikey Neal and Alex Huffman have really caught up to the back bumper of Jamir. So not only is Jamir having to be on offense trying to get second, he's also on defense right now from Mikey and Alex Huffman as he's trying to fend them off while trying to make passes. And you being the racer side of things, and I have a little bit, of course, on here, you know that is one of the toughest things to do, because you want to get somewhere to try to make a pass, but at the same time, if you get out of that groove, you could potentially put yourself to where someone behind you can make a move on you. So you really have to plan your passes.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one, maybe it's not as critical here as some of the other tracks. We got multiple grooves here and everything. But I think it's less critical when we've got more trucks out there. Again, with 10 cars out there, I don't think we're getting a lot of heat into this track. I don't think we're rubbering it up that much. So, in that case, there tends to be more of a single line. But, this is one of those tracks we talk about multi-groove racing where you can make it work in multiple grooves here, and that's what can make for interesting racing. You get a lot more side-by-side action. There's a lot more ways for cars to get around. But right now, I don't think we have that with this car count. But talking about Bill Edwards here, James Larillo was out there quite a ways, and Bill Edwards has found another gear here, and he's pulling about a 10th plus a second on James Larillo. So James Larillo may have eaten up his tires already, would be my guess, unless he's saving. And looks like he's going to have his hands full here with Bill Edwards in just a few minutes, and then Jamir Muhammad shortly after.
Yeah, and now we didn't get a fuel or tire window here. They're only running 90 laps, as we're about to be at lap 20. So we could see potentially them go, if it's around a 30-lap window, we could see this be broken into 2 pit stops. If they can get around 45 or so, 44, 45, this could be borderline a one-stop race. Again, we did not get that fuel window from a driver. If we get a caution, maybe we can bring a driver up and talk to him. However, that's the downside. If we get a caution, it kind of throws that fuel window out the window.
Well, most of these mile and a halves, we get somewhere in the neighborhood of 52 to 56 laps on a tank of fuel in these trucks if we're running a full tank. These guys run a 50% fuel restriction here. So I think, somewhere in that 26 to 28 lap range is probably what we're looking at for green flag laps for fuel here. Give or take a couple. But, this being a 90 lap race, that 30 kind of seems like that magic number. 29, maybe if you can stretch it and get a caution on another fuel run or something. But I think you're going to see guys stretching this as long as they can, 28, 29 laps, if they have that much fuel, trying to get closer to that window and catch a caution to put them over it. But otherwise, I think we might be looking at a 3-stop race here without a caution.
Yeah, I'm curious. We know Jamir knows how to save. We know Mikey knows how to save. Alex Huffman, being a teammate of Mikey, Neil, I expect he could be, he probably is working with him. Those front 3 have really been racy. Mikey Neal and Alex Huffman sitting right now in 4th and 5th. They really haven't, pushed a whole lot to get to the front. They've just kind of been chilling right there in 4th and 5th. So I'm curious if they're trying to save just that 1 or 2 extra laps of fuel to try to stay out there just a little bit longer and try to do something maybe put this field a lap down or just get that extra lap?
Oh, I think you probably are absolutely right. It wouldn't surprise me at all if these guys aren't running about 80-85% down the straightaways. And here we go. I think we got our first pit taker right now as Jameer Muhammad peels off to go down the access road. So he's already conceded that he's going to have to do this in 3 stops. He's coming down for fuel now. And like I said, I expect these other guys to stay out there and at least somebody to try to push it into that 28, 29 lap range. Because if you get a caution and can extend one of those runs by 2 or 3 laps, that could be enough to eliminate one of those stops for you.
And Justin Starr going to be coming down as well. We're going to watch here for Jameer Muhammad, make sure no mistakes are made. Looks like a good stop. He gets in nice and clean. I don't think he was speeding. And you do have to use that access road. Otherwise, it is a stop-and-go penalty here tonight. So they have to use that access road. And it looks like Mikey Neal and Alex Huffman coming down together. No surprise there. They are teammates.
Yeah, and clearly they're not saving, or if they were, they decided to change that strategy and not let Jameer get too far ahead. I do want to add that pit access road can be treacherous, especially if you haven't practiced that. You can easily lose a bunch of time getting onto that, and if you're trying to maximize your speed on that pit road so you don't lose 4 or 5 seconds on a green flag pit stop, when you come off that access road right into the pit road, man, that truck, the rear end just wants to come around on you. We'll see a lot of guys, in a lot of races, swing that around and get a little bit loose there, hit the concrete wall just to the left of the pit entrance, or even hit the trash cans. So that access road can cost you a lot of time if you don't push it, and if you do push it, it's a dangerous place.
Yeah, I believe a certain phrase comes to come to life there. That's old saying, damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. You got to push it, but you don't want to push it too hard. It's about a 50-50 split. You got to pick one or the other. You got to weigh your options. Which one is the lesser of the two evils? To come in a little hot to save time, or to come in a little less hot and have a better stop, or a cleaner stop, but potentially slower. So you really have to decide which one is better for you, and a lot of that is going to determine how those tires are handling out there.
Well, the lesser of the evils is to go out there and practice some pit stops before the race on that pit access road, because this is one of the more difficult green flag pit stops on the circuit here. I'm not sure if anybody did that. I'm sure some of these guys did, but as we make these green flag pit stops, that could be the deciding factor of this race tonight.
It could be, and I know for a fact, I didn't watch everyone. I do know that, of course, as we've seen before, the 8 of Mikey Neal was practicing his pit stops during practice, as it looks like the 13 of James Zarello is going to be coming down pit road. So at least one driver here was practicing his pit stops, and we'll see if any more do.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So right there at 27 laps, James Zarello, obviously, he was trying to leg that out. Bill Edwards looks like he's going to get 28 laps. So this may be the first time in the history of this broadcast that our napkin math was on par here tonight, Charles.
That is true. And there he is going to come down. So 28 laps on him. Tony Rice looks like he is staying out. Tony Rice going to stay out another lap here to go 29 laps. I don't know if he's going to be able to make that on fuel. It's going to be very close if he can.
He's definitely saving. He's running down the straights about 130 miles an hour. So Tony Rice been on a fuel saving strategy. Able to looks like get 29 laps out of that. And there it is. We talked about the pit access road, and that's exactly it. Carrying too much speed, shoots out there into the grass like that, and then come back on there, try to get woed up and get in the pits. That thing's tough, and Tony Rice looks like he saved an extra lap of fuel, but that pit entrance cost him.
Yeah, and he's got some damage to the right side of that truck as well. I'm not sure when he received that damage, but he does have a fast repair, so I think he'll get that fixed here. And I'm kind of curious, as he's going to pit a little short, I think, here. Maybe not. He'll actually take it off pit road or blink there. Not sure what. He should have pulled forward a little, but he just reset there, so he's going to be on pit road for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he ran out of gas and didn't make it into the box there.
I'm thinking that might have been it.
Didn't get in there all the way. It looked like he had to tow, but they are changing the tires on him, so kind of a strange thing there.
Yeah, it could have been a glitch there, I guess, too, going on. See, 27.9 seconds, so he did not tow. It must have just been a little, maybe a connection issue going on or something. He is coming out of pit road, so, again, about the only thing that we could explain that here as to what might have happened is Jamir Muhammad is now your leader, Mikey Neal in second. So we have a new leader here. Lorello led 23 laps. He is now back in fourth position. So we'll see if he can get back by Jamir Muhammad, Mikey Neal, and Alex Huffman. I don't necessarily know if James Lorello was the fastest car out there overall. That's why he's out front, or if he just potentially was just there and he couldn't get past. We'll find out here shortly.
Well, I think James Lorello was obviously the fastest guy that first run. Jamir Muhammad short pit these guys, so he got a couple extra laps there on the fresher tires. In the case of James Lorello, probably about 5 laps. So unless James Lorello can get a shorter, a caution flag to make it on one last stop, though, he may have lost a little bit too much time there, falling almost 6 seconds behind through that cycle of pit stops.
Yeah, it definitely did. And we want to quickly apologize for the buffering. Not sure what's going on. Just having some connection issues here tonight. I'm not sure what is going on here, but it is coming in and out. Hopefully it'll stabilize here in a minute. But at the moment, it's not looking like it. So we'll try to do the best here and get some stuff sorted out. But we'll see Jamir Muhammad back where we're used to seeing him. There's a reason he won the championship.
Yeah, he did. He won the championship, largely because of his ability to save those tires and be the fastest guy in the long run, but also through the use of maybe a contrarian pit strategy. Jamir Muhammad, he likes to be the first guy to pit or the last guy to pit. It's not very often you find him in the middle here. And again tonight, he used some pit strategy to get back out front. And, him and Mikey are starting to, and Alex Huffman actually are kind of starting to pull away from the pack here a little bit.
Yeah, they definitely are pulling away quite a bit here. Alex Huffman just in third place. James Lorello, again, back in fourth. Bill Edwards in fifth. Justin Starr, sixth place right now on that 99 machine, as he very well could pull a top 5 off here tonight. Brian Jones sitting in 7th, Jim Locking at 8th, and of course Dan Butler 9th, and Tony Rice is 1 lap down now because of whatever happened on pit road. Obviously, I'm curious. I talked about, was he going to get an unsafe pit entrance? I'm wondering if he did. I think the blinking thing was separate, but he was on there for 27.9 seconds. I'm curious if he had a 15-second hold.
Well, I'm going to say he probably got a 15-second hold with you there. I think that probably makes the most sense. And then, we saw that little slide through the grass. Well, if we look at his time on pit lane compared to everybody else's, that cost him another 23 seconds. So you put the two of those together, and there's a lap. I mean, these guys are running 33-second laps right now. So it's a little over a lap there. And, it's just further illustrates how tough this pit road is on the green flag pit stops.
Yeah, it definitely can. And we got the question in chat, where can you go to look at the paints up close? We can try to get a little closer in here as we can get a better shot there. But to look at them up close, really, there really isn't a way unless if you can get a contact with one of the drivers and they can send you like a screenshot of their paint job from iRacing, a little picture of it. Be about the only way, because most of these paint jobs are one-off paints that these guys do specifically for themselves, or they have somebody paint them for them. So there is no marketplace out there where you can go buy it other than maybe trading paints.
Yeah, trading paints is the place to go up. You want to see paint jobs, that's where guys put paint jobs up to be shared. Probably thousands of paint jobs up there that are available to guys. But most guys in the leagues and things like this do make the custom paint jobs like like Charles was alluding to. And, in that instance, right here with your face right next to the screen on VRN is about the only place you're going to get a good look at those unless you get in there and do some iRacing with these guys.
Yeah, and I'm definitely, if you can hold the line, I'm definitely sure these guys would love to have you. They're always taking new members. And it's a great league to be a part of. A lot of very good drivers and very respectable drivers at that. So you can definitely, you could do a lot worse than RACECORE. So if you're looking to get into iRacing, good place to start.
Yeah, and we talked about Mikey earlier having struggles at this track before, but and I wondered if that first run, if he wasn't just trying to figure out the line a little bit and get that rhythm, and I think that might have been it as opposed to saving gas, because Mikey Neal has kicked it in the rear here, and he is all over the back bumper of Jamir Muhammad right now. And just watching him checking up a little bit going down the straightaway there, I think he's probably trying to look at the time of pass coming off a 1 here, because he was a little bit faster getting off that corner last time. Maybe not close enough this time to pull it off, but I think he's trying to set Jamir up here for a move.
Yeah, he definitely is trying to set him up here, trying to find that perfect moment to get by. And, I think it's going to come here shortly as he's just sitting back kind of strategizing. Let's go, while we have a moment here, to our roll bar camera. Let's go on board, thanks to, of course, T&D Rustic Decor. On board here with the 8 of Mikey Neal, as he is definitely trying to run him down here. And you can see he's not fighting that wheel. We've seen before where they're really having to fight the wheel. He is very calm behind this wheel. Just very subtle movements get around this track.
Yeah, and you see him. He's exploring some lines here right now. He's running up on that high line, seeing if he can't get a better runoff coming down the straightaway. That one didn't pan out, but Mikey's playing at the different lines here, and I think he's looking for a way to get by. A lot faster getting into the corner here. Which is a little unlike Mikey, so I think he just drove it in a little harder there, trying to see if he could maybe get a nose inside. But Jamir Muhammad not letting any of this rattle him. He just keeps running that good line. And Mikey Neal there driving it in a little bit harder again. Looks like he's trying to maybe get a nose to the inside here on one of these corner entrances. He's already explored the wall, so definitely probing.
He definitely is. As we're actually switched over here, we're on board with the 14 of Jamir Muhammad on his gearbox cam. As you can see, the 8 of Mikey Neal behind him. So you get a really perspective from this angle to see what he's doing. Jamir going down low, and I believe he's coming back down pit road for his second pit stop.
Yeah, Jamir Muhammad going to short pit this thing again. So first one he did on lap 22. This one he hit on lap 20, so he's going to leg him out with a little bit longer runs there the second half of this race. Be interested to see what Mikey does here. I'm not sure I'd pit if I was him right now. I might run this out just a little bit further, at least try to get this to halfway, but again, it's still a little early in the race to get married to any kind of strategy.
Yeah, it definitely is. And, we had plans here at the halfway point to have a quick break, commercial break here at the halfway point. But I think we're going to hold off a few laps here as, pit windows are coming into play here. And we don't really want to miss any of that.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Alex Huffman here for a second, too, man. We talk about, these long runs and Jamir and Mikey and being all over their bumpers. But Alex Huffman has not lost sight of Mikey at all. He's right there, and looks like they're going to pit here this time by as they slow down for the pit access road. Mikey with the better entrance, but look at Alex Huffman kind of close up that ground there in the middle of the pit access road. So looking like a couple good pit stops here.
Yeah, you're right. Alex Huffman has to turn it sideways, almost spins it out coming on the pit road. And that was a close one there for him, but he does survive. Both of them come down pit road. Jim Locking going to stay out this time. And while we're watching them to see how their pit stops go, look like they're going to be flawless stops here. To a Kamikaze's question, or suggestion. What if you can find a short players video or something? I'm definitely curious. You're talking about like a video where it kind of like introduces the drivers or something like that? If that is what you're talking about, definitely let us know in chat. I may have to talk to you in Discord about that. That would be kind of something cool. It would be a little labor intensive, but to have a short video where each driver kind of introduce themselves, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's what Kamikaze is talking about, because I believe he's got prayer vid in there and not player vid. So I think he's referring more to the religious variety there, Charles.
Oh, well, okay, I can't read, so, yeah. I apparently cannot read at all today. It's been a long day, what can I say? And, I mean, it would be something we could definitely probably consider. I know you, at just about any sporting event, especially big races like NASCAR, they do have something before it, but, we'd definitely have to consider that and get with all of our partners and see what they thought. But yeah, I'll definitely bring it before the rest of the board, I guess you could say, and see what the consensus says on that, and see what we can do. But right now, I think just about everyone has completed their second stop.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Alex Huffman beat Mikey out the pits. And Jameer Mohammed, with that short pit there, has about a 3-second lead on both of them. So Jameer Mohammed's short pitting strategy, able to extend his lead with that. Alex Huffman continuing his great run, and actually moves into second place, and has put a little bit of distance between himself and Mikey. And James Larillo there actually short pit everybody this run, and closed up a little bit of that gap again. But he's still about 3.5 seconds behind Jameer Mohammed, and finds himself a little over a half second behind Mikey.
He is indeed. And since that does complete our second round of pit stops, they are really spread out here at the moment. We are going to take a quick media break here. We will be right back here after a quick commercial. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, after a quick little commercial break. We were going to go at the halfway point, but there was right in the middle of pit stops happening, so we didn't want to break away from that. But right now, coming to the race here. We have 36 laps to go, caution free so far. Again, I kind of figured we would have a low caution or caution free race, just based on a lower car count. That tends to happen here, especially when they're pitting every 22 to 24, 28 laps for some people. You're really putting some wear, but not a huge amount.
Yeah, I'm sitting here right now watching a heck of a battle here. Justice Starr and Jim Locking have been going back and forth at it for several laps here, running side by side. It seems like every lap, just about when one of them looks like they've come out ahead, the other one gets a great run coming off the corner and crosses them over. Just as happening again right now. Justice Starr was doing that, but looked like Jim Locking was down just a little bit low enough that Justin had to check up getting into that corner so he didn't run him over, and now has allowed Brian Jones to get in the mix. So even with all these green flag laps and all these cars being strung out, we got a group of 3 drivers here that are just battling like crazy right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. When they get strung out like this, doesn't mean there's not racing going on. It just means we have to work harder to find it. There are battles going on. They're just not, 20-car battles going on. They're 2 and 3 cars spread out. So it takes us a little more to find them, but we do find them here as the 45 does clear the 99 to take 7th place. And just to recap here is Tony Rice coming back down pit road. Looks like he has a little bit more damage. That may be the same damage. But 10th place, he's 1 lap down right now. Probably going to go 2 laps here before he comes off pit road. As right there, he will officially go 2 laps down. But he is the only driver multiple laps down, or any laps down for that matter, here on the track.
Yeah, and I want to talk about Alex Upman for a minute. He's a man on a mission here tonight. He has knocked Jameer Muhammad's lead down from about 2.7 seconds down to a second. And right now he's got about 1 to 2 tenths on the field here. On not much fresher tires than, even Jameer Muhammad. So Alex Huffman is just having a whale of a run here. And if this keeps up, he's going to be right there on Jameer's bumper in about 6 or 7 laps, right about the time Jameer wants to go pit again.
Yeah, definitely is. As we're getting 15 laps right now. This will be their last pit stop. So this is a very crucial pit stop coming up here shortly. As, you can make 2 flawless pit stops, but you have to be perfect on all of them, because the slightest little mistake on pit road can cost you time, but getting onto pit road, as we saw earlier with the 64, something like that, where it costs you a 15-second penalty, when you have no chance really to make that up. I don't think we're going to see any cautions, and you can't bunch that field back up. A costly mistake on pit road would be detrimental here in this race.
Well, and to your thing about pitting, one of the things about that pit access road and the way it kind of keeps you away from the track is a lot of times there'll be accidents getting into the pits, but you're far enough off the track they don't bring out a caution flag.
Yeah, that is the other downside. And iRacing, obviously, again, we talk about this just about every week at some point. We try to do our best here to make this seem as real as possible. We spend a lot of time on the overlays. We spend a lot of time on the quality of the stream, to make this seem as real as possible. But the one thing that we have no control over is, for the most part, the admins do, but are cautions thrown by iRacing. If you're off the racing surface, it doesn't matter if you're flipping end over end, bouncing around like a top on the track. They probably won't throw a caution if you're off that racing surface, because unfortunately, here, that's a good thing, but your life's not in danger like it would be in real life. So if you're not on that racing surface, or in this case, if there are not a whole bunch of cars where there's only 10 on the track and they're spread out, it doesn't feel you as a threat.
And cue that Jaws music theme song right now, because Alex Huffman has pretty much run down Jameer Muhammad. Now, we think Jameer's going to pit here in about 3 or 4 laps at most, if not 2. But Alex Huffman has run him down. And so we know Jameer short pit by about a lap or 2 on Alex Huffman last time. Actually, Alex Huffman short pits on Jameer Muhammad this time, so we may see a changing of the guard. That was a little surprising to me, but I think that is a great call by Alex Huffman and Mikey Neal right now, and probably going to force Jameer Muhammad to come in and get some new tires too.
Yeah, it is 26 to go. When they come out of the pit, it's going to be about 25 technically, so they'll be able to do it. Mikey Neal, keep an eye on him. He came in real hot to pit road. I'm not sure if he just was coming in hot or if he didn't know his teammate was coming in. He did lock the brakes up just a little bit, not enough to see any smoke as he comes in. James Zarello going to come in as well. He gets into his pit stall, and we'll see. It looks like fairly good stops. I don't think Mikey got a speeding penalty, but that was extremely close.
And Jameer Muhammad stayed out there for another circuit, so I'm surprised here. You know, we said Jameer likes to be the contrarian, and these guys were able to short pit him this time. And I'm only left to assume that he didn't like that, so he wants to be on the other side, and he's decided that since he's got most of the field a lap down, he's going to go ahead and stay out there and run this sucker out of gas and try to pin him a lap down. So this very well could be a race-winning move by Alex Huffman here.
Yeah, I definitely think it could be. As right now, as the final pit stops are taking place, Jameer Muhammad, Bill Edwards, Jim Locking, and Dan Butler have not completed pit stops. Brian Jones was one of those, but he has since come down at pit road, and he has completed his stop, so he will come out. So 4 drivers have not pitted, but speak of that, Jameer Muhammad is coming down pit road now.
Yeah, and the Kamikaze's comment, Mikey's struggling at this track a bit. Sometimes a third place for Mikey is struggling. Kamikaze, he's a pretty good driver in this series.
Yeah, he definitely is, and he's already said. I was talking to him earlier, and to quote Mikey Neal, he said, "There is a list of tracks that I just do not like, and this is number one." So he absolutely hates this track. So to see that he's technically in 6th place right now, but 3 guys haven't pitted, if he can manage the top 5 or top 3, I would consider that a win for Mikey if he has, since he just does not like this track.
Well, you know, the struggle for some people would be a good day for the rest of us. I'm not saying that's Mikey Neal, but I'm not saying it's not either. Mikey Neal's struggles are likely to net him a top 3 or 4 position, even on a bad day. So, but right now, I gotta like where Alex Huffman's sitting. Mikey Neal's right on his bumper, but Alex Huffman's been really, really strong, and particularly on the long run, which we've always kind of known Alex Huffman to be really fast on the short run. But on that last run, he really legged it out. So it'll be real interesting to see where he comes out. Actually, looks like Jameer Muhammad came out. I'm got to figure this out. I'm showing Jameer Muhammad only about a second behind him, and having stayed out that many more laps, I expected him to be a little further back.
Yeah, I did too, as he is just well, it's at the minute, it's there, it goes 1.1 seconds behind him exactly. So he may run him down here. We'll see. I'm not counting anybody as our race winner yet here, as we are going to have 20 to go this next time by. We very well could have a 3-way battle for the lead.
Yeah, I'm a little confused as to how I wish I would have been paying more attention as to how Jameer came out so close behind these guys. He stayed out there for a couple more laps, so you know, just when I'm about ready to hand this thing to Alex Huffman for the way he's been running today, Jameer Muhammad finds himself in a prime position. He's got 3-lap fresher tires, and he's less than a second off the lead.
He is, indeed. And Alex Huffman, he's going to have to do everything he can to hang on to this lead. As, you know, Alex Huffman's quick, but so is Mikey Neal and Jameer Muhammad. The best news I can give for Alex Huffman right now is the fact that he's got his teammate behind him, and his teammate is the most winningest driver in this season right now with 6 wins. Obviously, the guy who has 5 is Jameer right behind him, as we found out earlier. So the good news for Alex is that he had for Jamir Muhammad to get to him, he's got to go through Mikey, and that's not going to be an easy fight for him.
Yeah, Mikey will put up a fight, but I don't think Mikey's going to run interference for Alex Huffman. I think Mikey would love nothing more than to get a win at this track and get the monkey off his back, too. I know they're teammates, and I know they're pretty good friends, but they're also competitors here. And if you're Alex Huffman right now, man, you don't want to see those two guys that close behind you.
Yeah, you definitely do not. But I'm really thinking at this point, we are going to have a three-way battle for this win. And, seeing how the championship is already won, Jamir has that. He is not just out here running. He's trying to get the win, to get that 6th win. I think it would just be outstanding for there to be a photo finish between these three for the last race of the season to wrap it up. You couldn't ask for a better finish.
No, you couldn't ask for a better finish. You couldn't ask for a better crew. And I think we're going to have a great finish here. I think Alex Huffman's due. I think he's running a great race. I think he's fast, but you've got two amazingly skilled drivers right there on his bumper. So I'll tell you right now, his palms are probably sweating, his legs probably shaking on that pedal, and he's just probably telling himself not to blow it now.
Yeah, he definitely is telling himself do not blow it, hit your marks here. And reading chat here, first we got a few questions. Tonight, Mike, there has been no cautions at all. We've gone caution-free, and I can't get a good look there, as I know we have someone asking about the paint job on Huffman, if it's Kenny's Kent. I'm not even sure what that is, but I do believe that is what is on his hood.
It is, and I looked at it with the rear chase camera, so I don't know if you've got the opportunity to get there, but even the chase camera too, or the rear chase camera, both of them will show you that is Kenny Kent.
Let's go back here to the rear chase. Yeah, we'll go to that one. Yeah, it is Kenny Kent. Oh, Chevrolet, so it's a car dealership. All right, that clears that up for us. And that is indeed on his hood. But going back here to Mikey Neal, who's doing everything in his power to hold off Jamir Muhammad. But Jamir Muhammad to the inside. He's going to try to make that pass. Whew, and they get real close to contact. Jamir has to back off.
Yeah, speaking of side-by-side, we've got Justin Starr and Jim Locking going at it again. Again, just running side-by-side lap after lap here. These guys just cannot get away from each other here tonight.
Oh, they cannot. It is just intense. This has been a really good race again for as few cars as it was. As Justin Starr trying to get by the 91 of Jim Locking. It's kind of the battle of the 90s going on out there. 91 versus 99. So some battles in the back and then battles in the front. But I think that battle for the moment between the 8 of Mikey Neal and the 14 of Jamir Muhammad has kind of fizzled out for the moment, just because the 14 of Jamir Muhammad had to back off there just a little bit. That one kind of settled, but here it is ramping up again as Jamir Muhammad back to his back bumper.
Yeah, and Jamir Muhammad's got a couple laps fresher, 3 laps fresher tires. And I see a comment from Kamikaze talking about Jamir Muhammad being so much faster on the bottom. That's why Jamir Muhammad has to go right now. He's probably got just a little bit more grip and able probably to still run that bottom a little bit. But the real key will be is how much of a run can Mikey get coming off this corner. Because if Jamir's too slow on the bottom now, that run off the corner will allow Mikey to keep that position going down the straight. And Jamir Muhammad, I don't know if we got Mikey into the wall or not. They were definitely running really, really close there. And looked like Mikey might have scraped the wall there a little bit. Couldn't tell.
Yeah, I didn't see him on my angle, but then again, I didn't have the best angle, but I didn't see any. He definitely did get by him, and it was close. As now this is just kind of a really tough situation for the 83. He's got to be on his best behavior, hit everything perfect, and hope that he can hold off that 14 here for the next 10 laps. That's all you have to hold off Jamir Muhammad. So right now, I can promise you, if you're the 83 of Alex Huffman, the one thing that's going through your head is, Mikey, get up here and battle him some more and slow him down. I almost promise you that's probably what he's thinking.
And I can confirm that was a 100% clean pass. I went back and looked, and those guys were probably inches away from each other, and Mikey was even closer to the wall, but they did not hit. But Jamir Muhammad looks like he's just got too much speed for Alex Huffman to handle as he's able to get to the inside. We'll see if Alex Huffman can pinch him down and get that run off the corner. It looks like he's able to, as long as he forced Jamir Muhammad down on the exit of that corner. He couldn't get back to the throttle fast enough, so Alex Huffman may be onto something here if he can hold that middle line and force Jamir to try to run that bottom lane.
Yeah, he is definitely. He has to do everything to try to pinch him there. Oh, the 83 goes around, and there was damage.
The 14 gets into him,
and no caution. Caution. There it is. Let's go back and take a look here at the replay, as there was damage to the back. I'm not sure if the 83 lost a little bit of momentum or what happened, but definitely contact here, as Jamir Muhammad made that contact here. And we're going to go to his roll bar camera just to see if we can get a good shot here, thanks to T&D Rustic Decor.
Yeah, 83 got loose before Jamir, and it slowed him down enough that Jamir got in the back of him. 83 was trying to protect that inside line. We talked about this being progressively banked and getting the older tires hard to get down there in that inside lane. He dipped a couple tires below that seam, and it got loose. When that rear end kicked, it slowed him down just enough that Jamir, the speed difference put Jamir right in the back of him there.
Yeah, he definitely did, as you can see there from the onboard angle that you can see him going down, as he was, that downward angle is where that truck was getting a little bit loose. I can almost assure you that right now Alex Huffman is probably kicking himself because, while he may not have gone around, if Jamir hadn't hit him, Jamir did nothing wrong. He was just that close to him that when he started going around, by the time you notice, hey, there's a car fixing the spin in front of me, he had nowhere to go, and it was to his back bumper he went.
Yeah, I think Alex was just running a defensive line there, and he just got a little bit too low. Again, we talked about Jamir being able to run that little bit lower line better, and Alex's tires were probably just a little bit too far gone for him to run down there, but he tried to take Jamir's line away from him and got loose. That's racing. It happens.
Yeah, it indeed does happen here. And we have a very interesting development here, as we'll take a look. We are going to have 6 laps to go, so we will go racing again here. Since there's 6 to go now, I believe we're going to have a 2-lap shootout, and we have Justin Starr, who did not take tires, Dan Butler, who did not take tires either. 22 laps on those, and 16 for Dan Butler. Everybody else came down and got fresh tires.
Yeah, Alex Huffman 2 tires, and he had about 15, 16 laps, I think, on those tires. So I would expect that he's going to be a little bit loose here on this run. Not sure how that track is, but I don't think he's going to be able to run that inside line. I think Alex Huffman's probably going to have to run middle or high with only 2 right side tires there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to him. And, of course, we got 2 cars with old tires up front. So Jamir Muhammad, Mikey Neal, and James Zarello, 3 very fast drivers here tonight, are going to have to contend with some tire strategy ahead of them if they want to win this race.
They are indeed, and we haven't had, but this is our first caution, so we are going to step away here for a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will have the conclusion of this race as we're going to get it going once again here in just a few laps. All right. All right, we are back here. The lights are off once again, and had a little bit of internet stutter there, but it is back. Thank goodness, as we are on lap 87, fixing to be 88 of 90. This race is getting better and better, and our internet is not, so hopefully it straightens out here. Here, we had to yell at it a little bit, but it's back and gone again. So let's hope it straightens out. Green flag is back in the air. Horrible timing for the internet to decide it doesn't want to cooperate. But Justin Starr has a good run.
Yeah, Justin Starr chose the outside, forced Dan Butler on the inside there on his tires. Jamir Muhammad, though, immediately jumped up even before the start-finish line and started passing cars there on that high side, jumped straight up to the wall, and just eliminated too many cars. I don't think Justin's going to be able to pose much of a challenge to him here, as those fresh tires should just sail right by him.
Yeah, they do indeed. Jamir Muhammad to the front. Oh, we got Mikey going around. And no caution. There it is. Caution is out. Race is over. And that will be Jamir Muhammad getting the win. Let's go back and take a look at Justin Starr and Mikey Neal real quick.
Yeah, it looked like we just had a little bit of contact, almost maybe a 3 wide there. And they made a little bit of contact there and got turned into the infield. And with 2 laps to go, that was the end of the race.
It was indeed, and we apologize for the internet, guys, as there's Justin Starr. He slides up the track. Here comes Mikey Neal trying to come down, and actually I think Alex Huffman was pinned against the wall and tried to come down a little bit, and Mikey had to react, and that's what caused that. So just a little bit of a chain reaction going on between the drivers, as that will end this race. Jamir Muhammad getting the championship and the win.
Yeah, and that was the 21 of Dan Butler, not the 99 of Justin Starr. So Mikey Neal and Dan Butler getting into it there. It looked like Alex Huffman may have actually come down into Mikey a little bit too there and kind of forced Mikey into. So just 3 wide here in the final laps, and kind of hard to run 3 wide on a track like this. Jamir Muhammad is your winner. James Larillo, solid run for 2nd place, and Justin Starr got himself a podium finish here tonight.
He did indeed, and now that the caution is out, then the internet decides, well, somewhat. We're going to have to look into that. I'm not sure what's going on with the internet, but the checkered flag is waving here, as it's going to be Jamir Muhammad getting the win here tonight. So I'll go ahead and run through our unofficial race results, as there's only 10 of them here tonight. It is going to be Jamir Muhammad in the 14 getting the win, followed by the 13 of James Larillo. Justin Starr getting 3rd place here tonight, followed by the 83 of Alex Huffman in 4th, and 5th place will be the 45 of Brian Jones. 6th place will be the 91 of Jim Locking. 7th place will be the 75 of Bill Edwards. 8th place will be the 21 of Dan Butler. 9th place will be the 8 of Mikey Neal. And 10th place will be the 64 of Tony Rice, who obviously didn't make it to the end of the race. That will do it here. We'll be right back after a quick little commercial here, a little ad for an upcoming series here for RACECORE coming up in 2 weeks. So give us just a minute. We'll play that, and we'll be right back here with your top 3 interview. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, the internet is going to hang in here with us for the remainder of this race here. We're with the post-race show brought to you by Randy's Wraps, and it has been a great season here, to say the least. We do have our top three drivers here with us to talk to them. And you'll hear from him here in a minute. I can tell you he is stoked to be sitting in here in the booth. That is the 99 of Justin Starr. And Jeff, I do believe you have caught up with him, so we'll hand the mic over to you.
All right, Justin Starr, you got a copy, man.
I got you, Jeff.
Hey, what a race tonight. Especially there at the end, man. We had a long green flag run to start this race. We saw everybody get so spread out. We didn't even think cars were going to be close enough to see a caution there for a while. Everybody got so spread out, with one exception. We sat there, and every time we looked at you, I think you and Jim Locking were in some sort of side-by-side battle. I watched you cross each other over 4 or 5 times. Brian Jones slips in there in one of them. Then you guys pit like 5 or 6 laps apart. We go back and look, and there you are running side by side again. And for the most, I think we watched you guys battle there probably as much as we watched anything there for a while. And then we get a caution at the end of the night with about 3 or 4 to go, and you elect to stay out there on old tires. You had, I think it was Bill with you, and you had Alex Huffman on 2 tires. So we knew we had a couple cars between you and the 4-tire guys, but Jameer just too fast getting around those guys behind you, didn't give you the buffer that I think you needed, and but you managed to hang on for a 3rd place finish. So that's what I saw from the booth. Why don't you walk me through the race tonight as it was sitting in your cockpit?
Well, right there at the end when that caution came out, I said, I'm just going to gamble here and see what happens. Dan stayed out Butler behind me and Alex Huffman, and it was almost a repeat in another series that we had. We had a similar thing happen. I stayed out on old tires, and I had Mikey and Jameer behind me, and Dan stayed out. And I actually managed to win that race with Mikey and Jameer behind me, believe it or not. There's a video of it. Anyways, yeah, it was just a gamble. I figured what do I got to lose? Me and Jim, I have lots of fun racing against Jim Locking. Me and him raced clean door by door. I was hoping you guys were watching that. I was keeping him on the low line. He was keeping me on the top. And after a while, I just couldn't fight him off anymore. I was like, okay, go, man. But, yeah, I gambled at the end, and I guess it paid off finally.
Yeah, absolutely. That gamble did pay off, and it almost paid off big time. I think Jameer made a good move to get right up there against that wall and get by, but if those guys could have slowed Jameer up enough to where he'd have battled some of those 4-tire guys back there, like James Zarello and Mikey Neal there a little bit, that might have bought you a chance to get away. But as it is, we can't complain about a 3rd place finish tonight.
No, I can't. First podium I got. I can't complain. I'm happy.
Absolutely not. And that battle that you had with Jim Locking, multiple battles too, by the way, were probably the best battles of the night on the track. So
it was fun.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, with Jim, that was fun. That was fun. I'll be honest. Me and Jim racing, that was fun. I had a lot of fun racing with Jim. But okay, I'll stop interrupting you. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good. This is your podium. No, I'm just gonna say congratulations on that 3rd place finish, man. I know you got a lot of people, probably a long list of people to thank, sponsors to thank, and all that. So I just wanted you to get a little bit of time here on the mic to do your thing.
Well, first I want to thank Dan Butler for all the work and all the replay and reviews he does and everything else, and helping me out as much as Dan does. He does a lot of hard work in this league too. I have to thank the league itself, RACECORE. On the 11th this month, we will be 1 year old in iRacing, and 26 of the original drivers from the first series are still in this league, and we are recruiting. So we still have 26 of our original guys after a year. That's good. And of course, I have to thank my sponsor, Global Building Contractors. It's on my truck. I was glad to put them on a podium. And thank Leo's Coney Island for sponsoring this series this year for us. Hopefully we can have them back next year. Need to thank Global Building Contractors for the up-and-coming series. It's starting a week from next Tuesday. We are recruiting, so if you're in any Xfinity cars, there's no drop weeks, 12 races. You can show up and race and compete in your B license. Go over to racecore.com, racecoreonlineracingleague.com, and fill out application. And iRacing Drivers World for donating and supporting the Sunday night series. And of course, you and Charles at VRN for putting out the best quality broadcast that I think I've seen on iRacing. Thank you, guys. I think I racked out everybody.
All right, thank you. And once again, congratulations. Way to cap off the season here. Justin Starr, the league owner, the guy that puts in all the work behind the scenes to make this happen. All the guys in chat always talking about how clean the racing is, how they want to be a part of this league. Justin Starr is the guy that's responsible for that, the guy you need to talk to. So with that said, we're going to send it back down to Charles here, who I believe is with James Larillo, our second place finisher.
I am indeed here with the 13 of James Larillo. Started second, you finished second, led 24 laps, the second most laps led. Again, just came up a tad bit short here. Difference of 0.351 when it was all said and done. First off, we got to ask you the hard question here. Had we had those last 3 laps to race under green, do you think you could have run down Jameer and had a good shot at getting this win tonight? I think he got shy on us. James Larillo, you got a copy? Well, looks like we have possibly lost James Larillo here. So we'll possibly come back to him here in a minute here. Jeff, we'll hand it back to you here for your race winner, the 14 of Jameer Muhammad.
All right, Jameer, are you there? You got a copy, buddy? Well, it sounds like maybe James and Jameer are off partying somewhere without us tonight here, Charles.
Hey, Jeff.
Wait. I think we
Sorry
got
about
Jameer
that.
back.
I got you.
No problem. Again, welcome to the. We're going to have to change the name of this to the Jameer and Jeff post-race show.
Yeah.
Because you're now officially the champion of both these race course series that I cover. I've enjoyed covering these series immensely, watching you guys race, watching how much better you've gotten over the season.
Yeah.
And, because of that, I think we're going to have to give you first billing. But let's talk about tonight's race here a little bit. James Larillo, Alex Huffman early on were pretty fast. Mikey Neal. There really wasn't a clean breakaway. We thought maybe Mikey'd struggle here and he might get away. But James Larillo and Alex Huffman were bound and determined not to let that happen. Bill Edwards up there with you for a little while. You short pit these guys. We were talking about it. We called you contrarian. We said, whatever these guys do, you're going to do the opposite. So you kind of short pit them on that first run. Was able to take the lead. You short pit them again on the second one, I think it was. And able to extend that lead. Alex Huffman actually kind of ran you down there. So we thought maybe you're in for a race. And then he and Mikey short pit you. We thought that'd force your hand, but then you turned around and stayed out there for 3 or 4 more laps, and I don't know how it happened, but when it cycled through, I was as confused as anybody because you were less than a second behind them.
Yeah.
I'm just all kinds of still confused. I don't know what happened there or how that worked because my napkin math's no good. And then, obviously you had to pass there on Alex Huffman. He got loose right in front of you. Looked like he was trying to kind of hold you off from getting on that inside line where you were so good. And he caught that little bit of a transition there and got loose. You guys made contact. So we had the caution. We had the shootout. You had 2 tires in front of you. You had a couple no tires in front of you. But you wasted no time at all getting to the outside and getting by everybody. So, and took the lead just in time for the caution to come out and give you the win. There really wasn't any time to spare. So, very eventful night. at the end of the night, you tied Mikey for the most wins in this series. So congratulations on that too. So again, same question as to Justin. That's what we saw from the booth. But why don't you kind of walk us through the race? As it unfolded there from behind the wheel of your truck.
Yeah, Jeff. Once again, you got it like pretty much the nail on the head right there. That was pretty much everything that I had to say. Really, it was really a race to short pit. Really, the first one in was the one that was going to get the advantage, and everyone seems to be pretty equal. I mean, it was like me, James, Bill Edwards, Alex, and Mikey were all like super even. I was in third there, and I just could not pass Bill or James, and that's when I had to do something different. So I came in early to hopefully get a good pit stop and then take the lead after that. Being first in, I figured I'll take the lead. So just so I could control the race, and it worked, and then I had to do another short pit there to make sure I stayed in the lead. And yeah, Alex seemed to be really fast. I don't know. He seemed like he might have been fastest, in the middle to the end of the run than anyone else. And so he was catching me, and I thought he was going to have me on even tires. And then they raced me to short pit, and they short pit before me at the end by a lot, actually. And, once I saw them short pit, they had the advantage. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to run out for, 5 more laps and just have the fresher tires at the end of the race. And I was surprised as you were that I was only about a second and a half behind when I got out of the pits after staying out for about 4 or 5 laps. So I was surprised. I mean, I did have my best entry into pit road the entire night at the last pit stop, so that might have something to do with it. I don't know if they got caught in traffic or not, but yeah, that was huge. I wasn't that far back after that, and I had the fresher tires, so it's unfortunate. Alex got loose there. I was really looking forward to making the pass cleanly, and I had the fresher tires, so it was going to be fun to do it. And I was surprised he got loose because we were so tight today. And I didn't think you could get loose around here, but he did. He also, that was probably the oldest we've run tires in the race because the short pit so early. So they're really probably had no tire left at the end there. So yeah, that's pretty much what I saw there in my end.
Yeah, well, at least I'm not the only one mystified by that last sequence of pit stops. You still no idea how you came out that close, but it just seemed like every strategy you picked kind of turned into gold here tonight. And speaking of strategy, we talked about this a little bit in the last race when Mikey interviewed you. But again, we come into a final restart for the race, and you're not in the optimum position. You're the first guy on 4 tires, but you got 2 tires in front of you from Alex Hupman, who's been fast all night, and then you got 2 cars with 2 tires in front of them, so you always know there's a good chance that these guys starting on the old tires in front of them, no tires. There's always a chance somebody's going to spin the tires, going to wreck. And you pulled a move the minute that it went, and was able to get around the outside and get around 2 of those guys. So was this just, did you have a strategy going into that final restart? Did you plan this out? It seems like you kind of always do that at the end of these races. You've always got like the perfect restart strategy at the end of these races. So tell us what was going on there and what the plan was.
Yeah, well, Justin, the leader of the race, took the outside, and that pretty much put me in the catbird seat, I thought. Once he took the outside, I felt like if I got a decent jump, I can get alongside Dan Butler going into turn 1, and I had the fresher tires, so I didn't think I should be able to clear him pretty early, and I cleared him middle of the turn, and then I had to run off of the turn to get Justin. Luckily, just in time with the caution. I figured that's what Justin stayed out for. I was hoping that there would be a quick caution. At the season finale for our Xfinity series, almost the same exact thing happened, where I was kind of leading the most laps, pitted at the end. There was a bunch of people that stayed out, and as soon as the restart went out, they all spun their tires, and it was like a big pile up in the front stretch, and basically the leader won right away. So I was really hoping that wouldn't happen there. So my strategy was hoping for no caution. That was it.
Well, again, every strategy you had seemed to work out tonight. So congratulations, series lead tying win tonight, your 6th win of the series. Your 2nd championship so far on the season, Xfinity, and now the trucks. So what a season for you. Big congratulations there. And I know you got a lot of people to thank. I know you got family out there. I know you got sponsors, so this is where we give the mic to you and let you have at it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Just shout out to you guys at VRN for all you guys do. Leo's Coney's Island for sponsoring the series all year. iRacing Drivers World, and especially Global Building Contractors, as they're going to have their paint logo on my car for the Xfinity series in a couple of weeks. So I'm really looking forward to having that on my Xfinity car. And shout out to my dad who's watching, and my wife who's expecting maybe over the next couple of weeks. So hopefully I don't miss one of these races.
You got a wife doing a couple of weeks, and the first words out of your mouth is you hope not to miss any races. I imagine you're going to pay for that one a little later. So congratulations, and we're going to send this back down to Charles to wrap this thing up.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right, before we do wrap it up, we do have the 13 of James Lorello here. Got his mic working here so we can chat with him. So first off, as we were asking right before, we couldn't get a hold of you. Now we got you. We have to ask that tough question. Had that last caution not come out, James, do you think you could have run down the 14 of Jameer Muhammad?
Yeah, I really think I had something for him on that short run. He was so fast on the long runs, and, you know, track position really mattered here. But I thought if I could just get to him, I was hoping to not see that caution. But unfortunately, came out with a second.
Definitely bad timing for the caution. I only saw, I believe, 2 cautions all night, and one of them being right there at the end. It is unfortunate when it happens that way. But again, it's just it does stink when it happens. But you had a fantastic run here. You started second, you finished second, and you led 24 laps. Overall, you can definitely not be disappointed with that finish. This is, of course, the end of this series. We're hoping to see, are you going to be in the little 12-week series following this one in 2 weeks?
That's the plan. I hope I can keep competing like I am at the end of the trucks here and carry that momentum in there.
Well, definitely that was going to be our next question is, does a second-place finish give you that momentum? And if it does, how much does it give you, obviously?
You know, these last 2 races I've finished twice. You know, it hurts being the first loser 2 times in a row, but hopefully it'll be helpful. The racing has just been really good the last couple of weeks, really even. You know, the B cars will be a little bit different, but I feel really good about what it looks like.
Well, definitely, we're looking forward to that, as we will be covering all of that racing action as well. But it is a work night for most everybody, so we don't want to keep you here too late, as it's coming up around 9 o'clock now. Any sponsors on that car you need to give a thank you to for this season, and anyone out there watching you just want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I just want to thank, you know, the whole series. Justin and Dan do a great job putting this together, and thanks for them for allowing me into the league and continuing with it. It's been great. Leo's Coney Island for sponsoring this series, and Global Building Contractors for sponsoring the next one. I'm excited about those coming up, and I think it'll be fun. So thanks.
All right. Well, again, congrats on that second place finish here tonight. That will just about wrap it up here for the night. Of course, we have to thank all of the partners and sponsors that have come on board here for the season. On the racing side of things, 2 great general sponsors that have come on board. Of course, Global Building Contractors and iRacing Drivers World. And the presenting sponsor here for tonight's race and this series, of course, is Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills. We've talked about them before. Make sure if you're in the area, you go check them out. Give them a big thank you for what they do to sponsor this league and get you some great food. It's not just Coney's over there. They have a menu that we have looked over, and it is huge. So make sure you go get some great food while you're at it. On the broadcast side of things, we want to thank all of our partners that have come on board here for 2018 as well. As always, starting with Walls Beard Co., Beard Balm, Sim Speed Shop, Northwest Racing Series, Ohio IndyCar League, iBog. And your post-race show sponsor here for tonight is, of course, Randy's Wraps. That will do it as we are going to wrap it up here for tonight. We will see you at the next race, which is 2 races tomorrow night as we have Upper Edge, one of their last 5 races, one of them, followed by the Northwest Truck Race. So definitely stay tuned for both of those tomorrow night, and we'll see you there once again here on Virtual Racing Network.